doing. Hello guys, welcome back to another video. So in this video, I'm going to show you how I make my dog treats. So if you're curious about how I make them, then stick around and let's head to the kitchen. So what you're going to need is old-fashioned oats or oat flour, but I'm just using this. Some instant milk, some whole wheat flour, some peanut butter, some wheat germ, and some flaxseed meal. And then some fruits and vegetables that are safe for dogs, which today I'm using blueberries and peas. You can even use beef bouillon, but I'm not using that in this one. Okay, so I'm gonna first grind up the old-fashioned oats, and I'm gonna make a double batch, so I'm gonna use 2 cups of these because he goes through so many treats. And I'm gonna put this over it because it makes it easier to put them in. So 1, 2, and for this you can buy oat flour if you want. I just prefer doing it this way because I like them to be a little bit crunchier, so I don't grind them up to flour texture. I just grind them up a little bit. But you can do whatever you want. Also, if you buy these ingredients, I think every one besides the frozen fruits and vegetables and peanut butter, if you buy them in bulk at Winco, they cost a lot less. So that's how I like to do it. So that's about how I like it. Then I'm going to add it to my bowl. Then I'm going to put 1 cup whole wheat flour because again I'm making a double batch, and so normally it would be half a cup. But for this I am going to use 2 or 4 1/4 because they won't fit in this little tiny hole. So I'm going to use 4 of these. One. And if you make these, expect to clean up a huge mess because they do make a huge mess. Okay, so we're going to do that. And you'll want to save out the flour because we will be using it again later when we do everything. And then you want 2 tablespoons wheat germ because again we're making a double batch. One, 2. And then we're going to put in about 1 tablespoon, I think, of flax meal. You don't have to use this, it just kind of makes them crunchier, but if you do use this, you'll have to use a bit more water because it soaks up water. So sometimes I use it, sometimes I don't, but I don't want to use that much of it because I don't like that. It soaks up all the water. Makes it hard to roll out. Okay, and then we want 1/4 cup instant milk, but since I'm making a double batch, that would be a 1/2 cup, but I'm going to use the 1/4 cup because this one's probably about a 1/4 cup. So yeah, see, I think that's almost exactly 1/4 cup. So we're just going to use 2 of these. It looks like snow on it. That's what it always reminds me of. And this one, 1/4 cup. I'm going to set that aside and make up my fruit mixture, which can be in the same cup that I mixed the oats in. Woo! And so you can use anything that's dog safe. I've used carrots. I've used, gosh, I can't even think. I've used so many things. Beef bouillon, which I'll show you how to use in my next video on how to make biscuits. But today I'm going to use peas and blueberries. I've even used peas and carrots, blueberries and carrots, peas, blueberries, and carrots. I just use whatever I have. Bananas, he loves bananas, but I only use one because they're okay. They're safe for dogs, but you don't want to overdo it. So I'm gonna put in about, I don't really measure it, but about that much, about 1/2 a cup probably. And then I'm gonna add in my blueberries, which since I'm making a double batch, I do want there to be enough of this. So I'm going to just add in some blueberries. And then I'm going to add in a little water because these are frozen. You don't have to use frozen, but since I did, I'm going to add in water. Put it all, the lid on. So that's where I like it. And then I'm going to add in my peanut butter. I like to add it in after I've mixed this up because peanut butter clumps together, and so if I do it first, then it can be kind of hard to put in. This is to add a little protein to it too, so it's not all sugary. Adds a bit more protein. Plus, he loves peanut butter. I'm going to put in about this much. I don't like too much peanut butter in there because it is high in fats and stuff. But I just like it to add a little bit of protein in there for him. So I'm going to add in that. You might need to add a bit more water into it because peanut butter also needs water. Okay, so that's good. Alright, so now with my mixture, I'm going to add in this. And this is the messy part that I don't like. I'm going to take my spatula and try and get this the best I can. Alright. So now I'm going to mix this together. And it's going to get doughy, so I am most likely gonna have to use my hands, which for someone with sensory issues, I don't like. But it's part of making these, so I have to deal with it. Alright, here it goes. So I just want to mix it all together. And I made up this recipe. I took a couple recipes that I liked for dog treats, and then I kind of blended them to make my own recipe. So I like this because it doesn't use too many things that I don't have any idea what they are. So that's why I like this. It's not all weird like some of the ones you find online. So we're gonna mix it all together. It's kind of nice doing this with the fruit and vegetable one because it does make it have a softer texture, which is easier to work with when you roll it out and cut your treats. But it is hard because it's more wet. So you might have to add flour as needed if it's too wet, or you might have to add water if it's too wet. But normally with fruits it's not water you need to add. You do need to add water if you do bouillon or just peanut butter or anything like that, then you will need to add water. But for all the moisture in the fruits, normally my issue is having to add that. Unless it dries out too much trying to roll it. Sometimes if you take too long rolling it, it soaks up all the water and then you will need to add it. It also depends on climate and all that stuff. So this is actually coming out really good today. I think I'm gonna call it here because while I set up my workstation for the next thing, this will have time to kind of not be so wet. And once I wash my hands, then there won't be as much sticking to them. So call that good. Preheat oven to 325. Okay, so now I just have a 1/4 cup of flour, and I probably will need more. I would have preferred a 1/2 cup, but it won't fit in my little jar. And you want to put it all over your work surface so it doesn't stick, especially when you're using fruits because it's very sticky. You might get some on your stove, so just make sure to wash it afterwards because this is a messy project. Or at least for me, maybe I'm just a messy person. And then you want some on your rolling pin, of course, too. Don't want it to stick to anything. Alright. Then you're going to take your dough you just made. I'm also going to kind of put it in the flour like this because I really don't like it when it sticks. Alright, so now you're just going to roll out your dough. And I normally, I have this little, don't know what this is for, but it's for dough. But I normally roll it out to here, which is about 1/4 inch. And you can use, for this project, when you're cutting them, you can use a pizza cutter or a knife, anything you want. I just find that it's easier to make them even with that little thing. See, mine's still a little sticky, so I'm going to just add some flour to the top of this because I don't like it to be sticky. Then it's going to stick to everything, which we don't want, because then it makes it really hard to work with. Alright, I'm going to turn it this way even. Alright, so we're going to roll it out. You can really roll it out to however thick you want it. I just like it. I need some more flour. You can roll it out to however thick you like it. I just like it where I roll it out. And you might need more time if you roll it out thicker. You might need more time. If you like it thinner, you might need less time. So, I'm not the best at rolling it out even, but I try. So we're just gonna roll it out as even as we can. There we go. And then I have this little bit because it was too sticky, so I'll let it sit there and then I'll roll it out when I'm done with this. Alright, so I think that's pretty thin. That might be even thinner than I normally do it. Let's see. It's kind of hard to measure it sometimes. Yeah, that's pretty darn thin. So I like it about there. Okay, and then I'm going to use this, my handy dandy thing, and cut it. I know that they have, sometimes on the edges, I just cut it big and then I fix them later because I can't really cut them right there. I know they have those ones those silicone dog baking trays, and you can try those if you want. I personally tried it one time, but I couldn't breathe because of the silicone, and when I looked at it, it looked runny, like watery, which kind of freaked me out. I was like, I wouldn't eat that. I don't want my dog eating that either. But if you want to, you can try it. I also couldn't breathe with it. When we washed it in the dishwasher, I couldn't even breathe because it made the whole house smell like silicone. So I don't use them. You can use them if you want. This used to take me an hour in the beginning to cut all these. Now it takes me probably about 20 or 30 minutes. If that. I used to cut him much smaller though. But he's so big that he would choke on them when they were bigger or smaller. When they were smaller, he would choke on them, and so I started cutting him a little bit bigger, so at least he doesn't choke on him. He would swallow them like a pill because they were so small he couldn't really chew them. So I like them about this size. I try and make them even, but it doesn't always work. So we're just gonna cut these. Okay, now that I cut my lines, and I normally just make them like this. Again, you can make them however big or small you want, depending on the size of your dog, depending on how much you treat. If it's a pet dog, you could probably do them a little bigger. If it's a service dog in training and you have to treat them a lot, then you'll probably want a little smaller. So just go with how you want them. And then I'm going to cut them across. Alright, I kind of rush towards the end like I normally do. I normally get tired about then and then just start rushing. And so now we're going to put what we have on our cookie tray. Okay, so now I'm going to put them on my cookie sheet. And I'm just going to use, again, my little pastry cutter thing. And just tear them apart, throw them anywhere. It doesn't really matter where they are. It doesn't even really matter if they touch because they're not going to expand any. And again, that's why I like this, because I can do so many steps with it. I can cut them, I can get the dough off the cutting board, so I really like it because it does so many tasks. And when I tried a pizza cutter, it all stuck to it because it cut through them like that, and so it stuck to it really badly, and so it wasn't very fun, but just try and see what works best for you. Everyone's different. But this is how I like to do them. thing about homemade dog treats is they do make a lot more than what you'll buy in the store unless you buy in bulk. But it's like at our Petco, it's like $5 for a pound, so even that's kind of expensive. I don't remember what this comes out to be, but it comes out to be a couple of pounds, and it's only about, if you buy everything in bulk at Winco, it only costs me about $5 unless you use beef bouillon and not including the peanut butter. So, but a lot of people already have peanut butter, and if you're allergic to peanuts, then you can use other forms. I mean, you don't have to use it, so if you're allergic to peanuts or can't be around nuts, you don't have to use the peanut butter. You can just use other protein or just not use any protein. So, he likes his peanut butter though, so I do add it, but if you're allergic, then it's not a necessity, and you can totally skip it if you need to. Alright, so we're all done with that. So now I am going to put them in the oven. So now I'm going to try to put them in my oven because it's preheated. And I'm going to set my timer for 20 minutes. Alright, so my timer just went off. So now I am going to open up my oven and I am going to flip them. I do this because if I don't, then they don't cook all the way on the other side. And since there's so many, I normally just kind of stir them around. Try and get everywhere. Try and turn as many as I can. It's kind of hard to tell, but I'm just going to do that. Alright. That's good. And then I'm going to set my timer for 15 minutes. Okay, now I'm going to check our dog treats and see if they are done. They're still pretty hard when I mix them. And they're golden brown. And there's no moisture in here, so I think these are done. dog treat recipe. It's pretty simple, it's just time consuming. So let's see how he likes it. True test. He's excited. He knew I had these for the outro because I did these after the fact. So he's excited. He hasn't had any of them yet. So this will be his true reaction. Good, wait. Okay, let's have them. Let's taste them. How do they taste? Yum, yum, yum. He's delicious. So good. So thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Do all the things. And we'll see you next time. Bye, guys. I'm 21. I look healthy. I look young. That doesn't mean nothing's wrong. On the outside I look okay. On the inside it's hard to get through the day. Just because I'm young doesn't mean nothing's wrong. Just because I'm young doesn't mean I don't have PTSD. People think it's only for soldiers, but that isn't true. It can happen to me, or it can happen to you. A service dog can help us get through. People think I don't need one, but they don't see the anxiety I have just walking down the street. My heart is racing, my breath is cold. Now I don't remember how to get home. He leads the way like a trusty steed. He always knows how to look after me.